I gotta get the hell out of here. Hello everyone. In this video I thought I would talk a little bit about a trip I took back in 2016, May, to Capitol Reef National Park. In the very southern corner of Capitol Reef, there's a place called the Halls Creek Narrows. And it was a place up to that point in my life I hadn't visited yet, and I knew it was kind of remote, so I decided to go for it. So the injury I'd been talking about in the last couple of videos that I've done on my left ankle has finally healed up really good. So I can show you a picture where it won't gross everybody out here. But basically had 4 little holes on the inside of my left ankle from blood basically pooling around my ankle area while driving long distances. Should wear compression socks when you do that. I did wear compression socks, and I have for over 20 years, but I needed some stronger socks. The 30 to 40 basically compression instead of the 15 to 20 that I had on. Wasn't good enough. Things should be back to normal as far as me getting out and doing an adventure every now and then. So like I mentioned before, I didn't just drive straight from my house all the way to Capitol Reef National Park. 12-plus hour drive from where I'm at here in Alpine, California. I did stay the night over at Valley of Fire State Park in Nevada. Got a beautiful sunset at the end of the White Domes Road, basically. Got up in the morning, visited Elephant Arch, been to that arch a few times, but wanted to catch a nice sunrise picture of the arch, which I did. After that, I continued driving, went to a place just north of Hurricane, Utah, and then Canaraville, and there's a waterfall I'd wanted to visit for a while called Canara Falls. Ended up hiking up through a slot canyon and got up to the falls, and it was just beautiful. There's actually several little falls. One of them has like a little log with some stairs on it, basically. Kind of a area that's photographed quite a bit. So I got my own photograph of that waterfall. But yeah, beautiful falls. So drove in on the east side there on Big Thompson Mesa Road and parked kind of near a place called Burt Spring. And this was on the very top of a canyon that drops down about 1,000 feet to where Halls Creek is. And back then I was driving my 2006 Nissan Xterra that I absolutely love that vehicle. Bought it as what was called a rewind vehicle. Somebody put a couple thousand miles on it and returned it. And I picked it up for a really good price back in 2007, I believe. And I had that vehicle all the way up until about 2 years ago. And I did a lot of trips and really enjoyed that car. Wow. Anyway, parked at the top of the canyon, was able to get a nice sunset picture of the sun going down over the canyon. Really beautiful. It was a really nice foreground with some of the cracked sandstone and rock. So I actually got a beautiful sunset photo there, and in the morning woke up early, got the sunrise, not much of a foreground, just some of the desert. And I definitely didn't want to go crawling down that canyon in the dark, so as soon as the sun came up, I started my climb down the canyon. Okay, just came from there. Make my way down this way and then head off to the south there toward the Narrows. Just came from there, headed down this wash. Water Pocket Fold, and that should be Halls Creek. Another 6 miles or so, and should be some Narrows down there. And once down at the bottom, I walked for about 5 miles or so over to the beginning of the Narrows. The Narrows go for just under 5 miles as they twist and turn southbound, basically. And coming back, you're able to exit the Narrows. You can either come back through the Narrows, the opposite direction, or you can skip the Narrows, because in a straight line it's more like 2 miles. But going through the Narrows, it's, like I said, just under 5 miles. So anyway, you can skip all that by exiting after about 5 miles and coming back through what's called Halls Divide, which is what I did in this trip. Got to the Narrows, and wow, beautiful. Just sheer cliffs, hundreds of feet high. Or right at the entrance of the Narrows, there's kind of a wide section where Halls Creek is spread out a little bit. There's frogs, pollywogs, green moss all over the place. Of course, I'm wearing a half wetsuit when I was going through on this trip. Keep my legs warm. Had my camera on a tripod, and I was careful. I was careful where I was walking, but I've got my Nikon D800 with a 16 to 35 Nikkor lens, wide-angle lens on it. Taking my photographs here and there, put the tripod on my shoulder and walk to the next location. If I was going through a dangerous area, or if I was going to walk, any real distance at all, I usually would just put my camera in my camera bag, but I didn't at this point. And as I walked, my foot must have hit some moss or something, because the next thing you know, both my legs were up in the air and my back was on the ground, and I had felt my camera just slap the sandstone pretty hard. I didn't get injured at all. I got up, looked at my camera, and my lens it had like a 1/4 inch crack all the way down it. I just went, oh my gosh, that was an expensive fall. Oh, so I ended up having to put my camera and my lens away. I just left my lens on the camera. I didn't want to mess with it out there. Luckily, when I got home later on, the lens, of course, was completely destroyed, a $1,500 lens. and I wasn't sure if my camera had any damage to it at all, so I sent it into Nikon, and they did a deep cleaning on it and checked it out, and everything was good. So I got lucky there. I ended up putting my camera away, and that was at the very beginning of the Narrows, so I hadn't even gone through yet. But I had my iPhone 6 Plus with me, so I decided to continue anyway and just do the best I can with my iPhone. So I've got my little iPhone 6 Plus, and I'm cruising through the Narrows, having a great time, and the weather started changing a little bit. I gotta get the hell out of here. Next thing you know, it started raining on me. Not a good place to be when it's raining in the middle of a canyon like that. I could either go back the way I came, or I could continue forward. I was somewhere near the middle, so I just figured, you know what, I need to get the hell out of here. So I continued forward. I was able to get out of there safely, and I'm glad I wasn't swept up in some giant tidal wave going through there, because that is not a good place to be where there's rain, not just where you're at, but several, many miles away. If there's a huge rainstorm, floods can hit without warning, and you got to be very careful. And there's no way out when you're in the middle of a canyon like that. I had to have just beat a speed record. The rain started coming down, and I needed to get the hell out of these Narrows, which I finally did. This is the exit here. Now I've got to climb over this on the north side, the left there, and then walk about 8 miles back, and then climb over the top of the edge there. All right. So I got out of the canyon, got into the Halls Divide area, and hiked all the way back over to the bottom of the cliff. That's it right there. That's the first ledge, and then I have one more ledge. This is easy money here compared to this. climbed back up the cliff, got in my vehicle, and ended up terminating my trip there. Yeah, so almost exactly a year later, May 12th, 2017, I returned to the exact same place up above on the cliff there, climbed back down the cliff in the morning, hiked all the way to the Narrows again. This time I had purchased the exact same lens. So I was ready to go with my big camera, and I was able to capture some pretty beautiful shots. It's just an absolutely beautiful, beautiful canyon to go through. It's kind of a short canyon. Like I said, it's just under 5 miles.
Well, this is the infamous spot about a year ago to the date where I busted my camera lens. Slipped right on this mossy stuff here and rock. Right at the beginning of the Narrows. Real nice. So here I am again. Absolutely beautiful though. Giant walls. It was also pouring rain last time I was here. Love the green trees. Nice contrast with the orange canyon. Matter of fact, I still have some of the mud on this thing from last year. There's a little bit there. That's from last year. Now this is how the picture is taken. Beautiful stuff.
Came back the same way, through Hall's Divide, climbed back up the canyon there. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Hope it wasn't too long, and I hope it was at least a little interesting. And I'll see you on the next one.